Welcome, friends. Welcome to the Lucky Die. As we've gotten to know Balance, Ral, Sultana, Auron, Ivorus, and Gref a little better, we've seen them surmount challenges not in their favour, place the pieces of the puzzle together, and work as teams to give Bitgron a fighting chance against the apocalypse. We've joined in their triumphs and felt their losses. Today, however, we delve back into the past, not only of our three brave adventurers and Kino Initiative Task Force 10, but also of their friends and allies, both new and old. Welcome to the episode 100 special, the third backstories of the Lucky Die. For our first story, we look into the young life of Lafian as he is staying with a very powerful political figure. The question is, how heavy is the head that wears the crown?
We're going to go way back in time, quite far back now, to about when Lafian was about 20 years old. He is currently on year 5 of a 5-year stay with the dwarves. He is staying with Queen Rowena, and he stayed a little bit longer than he should have, partially because they're good friends, but also because he was waiting for the day that she officially took her crown from her stewards. That day is today. Except with everyone waiting in the Great Hall, her stewards waiting there with the crown that she herself made, she's not here. Time ticks on. She's still not here. What do you want to do?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed.
Lafian would probably put on his super sleuth glasses, metaphorically speaking. And,
metaphorical super sleuth glasses.
Just
to
the nearest steward, just, if you'll pardon me, I need to go use the privy. I'll be back as soon as I can. And just kind of quickly back out of the room and then, run to Rowena's room.
You run to her quarters, her old quarters as the kind of queen, not on the throne, and she's not there. You run to her new queen quarters, and she's still not there. Take a perception check.
Sure. Oh, you don't need your character sheet, Arch. No, you don't need it. 21.
I thought you may run directly to where she is, but you didn't. A 21. On a 21, you hear the sounds of an old half-dwarf, half-elf woman railing at the top of her voice. You can't hear what she's saying, but you can hear her. You can also hear the clanging of a blacksmith's hammer.
I should have known. And he's just going to head over to where the forge is. The personal forge.
Where else would she be? As you approach, you hear things flying about. Things are clearly getting thrown within the forge area itself. And as you arrive, the doors get thrown open. And Rodri, who is not yet on her stick, kind of grumps out, and she's like, "Ugh. Well, you give it a try."
All right. Good to see you. Laughing kind of quickly scoots into the room.
I go up there and tell everyone that she's feeling unwell or doing something bloody. And like she goes grumping off, like Prince could do it. She grumbles off.
Laffy
Inside the
slips
forge, inside the forge, the fire is going. You can see that there are 2 apprentices working hard to keep the forge going. And Rowena is there in not much more than a blacksmith's apron, some loose-fitting garments, wielding a pretty big hammer. You've seen her use this before. And she is smashing hard down on the iron that she is working. You can see all around in this, there are so many circlets, so many circles, crown shapes. Some of them are beautifully ornate. Some of them are just simple band with a couple of nails hammered into them. She's busy hammering away at something again, making it a round shape, hitting it, putting it back in the fire, hitting it again. And as she finishes this one, as you make your way over there, she looks at it, plunges it in the water, in the oil, pulls it back out again, decides it's not good enough, throws it over her shoulder, and demands another piece of iron brought.
Laughing kind of just stands across the anvil from her, and when there's a brief moment of silence, he just chimes in, "You know, Father told me that it's not the crown that makes the ruler, but the ruler that makes the crown."
Yeah, well, your dad was talking shit. That's what he was doing. I don't bloody know. I'm going to stand up there with some crown I haven't any right to earn, but there I am wearing it. Makes me bloody good. I mean, do you make it artisanal? So you stand above people, or do you represent the dwarven race? And do you make it look beautiful and stunning, or do you go for a mix between the two? I mean, what right do I have to sit on this crown? I'm like 50 or 70 years old. I'm not even 100. She starts whacking at the iron again.
Would you like to sit down and talk? It seems like you have a lot on your mind.
Nope. She smacks down with a hammer. I think I'm pretty happy. Smacks down with a hammer. Hitting this thing. Smacks down with a hammer. Creating some useless crown. Smacks down at the hammer. She looks up at you. She lifts one hand, like does the L shape. And she starts smashing down again.
You don't seem like you're all right. Are you? There's something you want to talk about, isn't there?
Talk about? No. I mean, why would I want to talk about the fact that my father's dead, my mother just died, and now I've got to go take from the stewards my crown, which I'm not ready to wear yet. I mean, it doesn't even fit properly. It was hers, so I can't wear that either, can I? And like, she's smashing down again. You kind of get the distinct feeling that the mourning, the anger, the loss that she's going through, those tears are drying on her face from the heat of the anvil.
Oh. Laffine's going to kind of like scoot around the anvil and then just say, "I'm going to do something to try to help. Just promise you won't hit me with your hammer."
I don't want to do it. She continues smacking the iron. You notice that she's glancing your way on an odd occasion. She continues smacking down at creating this new crown.
Laffine's going to give her like a very gentle hug.
Take a persuasion roll.
10.
Smash it down again. This one's for you. She picks it up, glowing red metal, throws it into the oil. That one's yours. Just give me some room. Yeah, it's yours. We're making it for me, Emma. As she points at like the 20 or 30 crowns, it's clearly fine behind her.
I'm going to be getting my own one day. I mean, I would appreciate anything crafted by you, but just like you, one day I'll have mine.
Let's put it like this. She starts smacking down again, like, consider it a gift of one ruler to a future ruler who's going to know all the burdens when he gets older. Smash, smash. Although when you're actually ready for it, when you're old enough, when you know what you're doing, and you can be wise and smart, not right now, smack, when you have no idea what's going on. At that point, she just throws the hammer across the thing, just underhanded throws it. There's no anger in it. It's just resignation. And she just sits back down. The two boys working at the forge just look at her and she sends them away with the tip of her head. Do you know what I'd like? Not to do this. I like not to be in charge. Just sit here at my forge and just make things for people on the fly. Making your crown took maybe 5 minutes, and I didn't enjoy it, but there it is. I'm going to be shite at this. I'm going to be so shite at this.
I think you'll do wonderfully.
She kind of like gives you a side look like, Laffian, you're like 20 years old.
I know.
I have no idea what is coming your way.
I don't.
And hopefully you won't just be 80 when you take the crown.
I would hope it wouldn't be so soon.
Yeah, me too.
But look at it this way. You're a shaper, you're a maker, right? That's what you do. Look at the people, look at your kingdom as just another piece of metal to be bent and shaped to something beautiful. I think you could do it.
That's true. I mean, not necessarily my will that's going to be put into this, but I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's the kingdom that's going to forge me into something better. Or maybe it'll just be shite. Maybe it'll just fall apart. I don't know.
If it does, you can always come with me back to my home.
Okay, agreed. If I fail at this being queen thing, I'm going to come live with the elves, and I'm not going to come back here, and the dwarven kingdom will look after it. So I need to squeeze out a kid first, though. Oh, no. Well, I feel I'm going to have to get married to a dwarf. Oh, no.
Laffian's just like giggling at that. He's 20 years old. This is amusing as hell to him.
Oh, you laugh. I've got to like meet someone that's not a complete tosspot, like upper echelons. I'm not polite. I've got to meet someone who's like noble and like worthy of putting baby. Oh, that's so gross. Do you know what? I feel I can run this kingdom. This baby thing. I'm out. All right. She stands up and offers a hand to pull you to your feet, and she indicates the 20 or 30 odd crowns that are all fully functional, all very fine behind. And she's like, I'll tell you what, just pick one, and I'll make that my everyday crown. I'll make that the crown I just wear about the house and not on stake occasions. I just pick one. I can't. I don't know what I'm looking for.
Laffian's gonna like look around, kind of get a smile on his face, and then pick up like 10 of them, bunch them all together, and put all of them on top of her head.
As you do that, she kind of looks up, wiggles her head a little bit, and not the one that's necessarily immediately touching her head, but like one or two up. As she wiggles her head, one of them falls perfectly onto her head, and the rest just clatter around and rest on her shoulders. And she's like, "All right." She rolls her shoulders back. Right, this simple maybe crown. Right. Come on, you better put yours on. You can't deny a gift of the Queen of the Dwarves now, can you?
I mean, I could, but you'd probably kick my ass.
I would, yeah, and then I'd force you to wear all the crowns in this room.
Laffian like picks up an additional one off the floor, kind of puts it on his arm like an armband, and then puts the other one on his head and is like, there, now I have two.
All right, tell Rodri to go get me robes. Fuck me.
All right. See you there.
See you soon.
Laffian goes from walking out the room giggling.
Our following tale speaks to Graf's childhood. We know where he eventually went, but we all want to know, where did someone like Graf come from?
Many, many years ago, in a place very far away, in a place very, very much up in the mountains somewhere, there is a young man, I'm very sorry, who is living with his mother and 7 sisters. His father long dead. He never had any brothers. It's just the 9 of them living on a farm just outside, let's say a small town. it's a farm. You can hear the sounds of your sisters bickering with one another. Some of them a little older, some of them a little younger. Talking about dresses, some of them talking about farmware, etc., etc. And you can hear your mother off in the distance like, I told you, Arlene! Arlene, no, don't even think about it. You hear this all going off in the background. Just outside, we find Gref. We find a very young Gref. Gref, what are you doing outside on a night like this when your mother has told you to come in for dinner?
I think Gref's like kinda he's taking the very few moments of peace, like the very few moments of like nobody's eyes are on him. And I think he might be like not exactly playing war games, but he's fantasizing about fighting. He works the field all day and is made to do a lot of menial labor. So when he finally gets some time off, I think he's just imagining swords and riding horses for battle and shit like that.
There is a barn opposite the house.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that there are 2 horses in there. One is a white horse your mum has named Artax. And there's a greyish kind of looking horse that she's named Ashes. You can also see between them, sort of on a bale of hay at the back, you can also see your travelling bag. It's mostly packed. It's 1 or 2 odd little bits you'd probably be wanting to take with you.
It's this close to that moment, huh?
It is that moment.
And I think Gref's probably like hearing his mother's like shouts kind of rouses him, and his brain sharpens, his mind sharpens, and he's just like, oh, wait, I have to. All right, I think this is the right moment.
Louisa, mate, I told you not to eat that.
Okay, yes. And Gref's gonna make not a mad dash, but a good sprint for the barn, hoping that the shoutings of his mothers will like make up for his lack of quiet, lack of grace.
You definitely managed to run to the barn. You think unnoticed. The horses, they're not saddled. Yeah, they're not saddled currently. Which horse are you picking? Which horse are you going to steal from your poor innocent mother?
I'm stealing the one she named.
She's named them both.
What?
Ashes and Artax.
Okay, I'm taking Ashes. That's the not white one, right?
Yes, it's the grey one.
Yeah, Gref's gonna like get that one. I'm assuming we don't have like traditional riding gear.
Not like I'm a noble going for a ride. No, these are working horses.
Yeah.
They dispatched like plough fields and stuff, but it's very possible to ride them. You have the equipment there, you have all the saddles and whatnot. You being the eldest and only boy in the family, you have done your fair share of horseback riding.
Yeah, Gref's gonna start getting Ashes ready, and in between like getting Ashes ready, he like goes over and pats Artak like, okay, just stay calm. Like I know he is I know they are a jealous horse. And I don't need it starting neighing and feeding at the ground.
They kind of like nip at your hand as you like go to stroke them. They know something is off. They're very perceptive creatures.
No, come on. And I'm gonna bridle up the horse. I think that's the phrase.
I will assume so. I know nothing about horses other than there are horses.
Okay. And then Gref's gonna attach his travel bag to the to the top of the back of the horse, the thing.
Okay.
And then he's gonna climb on top.
All right. I have to ask this. Are you leaving any notes behind? Are you saying goodbye to anyone in your family?
Sorry, that's a difficult question, kind of.
Let's put it in a nice kind of like a nice setting, shall we? You're on the back of the grey horse Ashes.
Mm-hmm.
You're at the kind of just outside the barn on the kind of the courtyard farmyard. And you see the gate in front of you, and there's the sun that's kind of like setting behind you. It's already kind of gone behind the mountains, and you're beginning to feel the bite of the cold, but it's still light-ish. You can hear your sisters running rampant around this small farmhouse.
Meta talk a little bit.
Yes.
Did we ever decide if Graf had younger sisters or if he was the youngest?
I put him in the middle.
You put him in the middle?
Yes.
All right. Can we say that, like, not the youngest sister, but maybe like second or third?
Yeah.
Someone that would be around the age of like 12, 13.
Yeah, sure.
Can we say that one of them actually was sneaking out to, I don't know, like groom one of the horses? Like she, yeah.
You want to accidentally say goodbye to someone?
Yeah.
Okay, this is not happening. As you stand there, like looking back and debating on what's happening, you see the door to the farmhouse swing open, and you see a fairly short, very plump woman. She has long, kind of dark hair, which has been tied back into a braid. She's wearing like a little white apron-y thing, which is kind of more grey and covered in grime and every day. Like she's wearing a little blue dress. She's like fairly dark skin. And she sees you on the horse and she's like, Graf? Where are you going, Graf?
I have to leave. I have to.
Graf, we don't need no butter.
It's not butter, it's me. I need something.
Graf, you are too young. Get back here right now.
You know that the war is here. You know we have to fight for it.
You see your sisters all kind of like looking out the window, and your mum looks super mad. She turns. You get inside. You stop watching, girls. Go on if you go. I have to talk to your brother. She closes the door on their face, and you hear them like, as the youngest one starts crying. She marches over to you, hands on her hips, and she like looks up at you. She's like, "You gonna go fight some strange woman's war?"
They need help. This is our
They
best.
don't need no help from no farm boy. They got plenty of soldiers willing to die.
Well, maybe they need. Maybe I don't want to be a farm boy.
Her face kind of like, her eyes go like a little wide, like, maybe you don't want me no farm boy. This farm's gonna be yours, boy.
I don't want this farm. I don't want any of this.
You don't want any of your family?
That's not what I said.
Well, it sure feels like it, Greth. You hurt me.
Mama, come on.
Don't you mama me. You're about to go off and fight some strange woman's war. You got no business being there, Greth.
She's not strange. She's our best hope. She's all of our hopes. No more raiders. No more fighting. No more chaos. To get to sit at the table with everybody else. Not to be looked down upon like scum.
You think your mama's scum?
I think they view us all as scum. And I think they're all shit at fighting. You know I beat most of them up every time I go to the bar. You know that I'm better than them.
You also come home covered in bruises, honey.
Signs of future victories.
Graf, are you gonna go fight in her war because, you know, you want to do the things that boys do with girls?
Mom, no! Mama, don't talk like that. That has nothing to do with this. No, it's... I wanna be somebody. I wanna be somebody worth talking about. When they write the books for our rights to glory, I don't... There is no chance the Peace Bleeders will be even mentioned. I would like to maybe make that possible.
Now, Graf, you get off that horse right now.
They're gonna name a city after us.
Graf.
A whole town.
Graf.
The capital,
Give your mom
maybe.
a hug.
Graf gets off the horse and kind of stands. I'm assuming he looks down at her. She's
she's pretty short.
And
she reaches up and she gives you a hug. And she's like, "Hey, you take care, Graf, okay? Now you go get a town named after you or whatever it is you want to do, hun."
It's not after me, it's for us.
She laughs like, no, I think it's going to be called Grathtown.
I'm pretty sure I could come up with a better name than that.
She laughs and smiles. You can see there's a little glow in her eyes a little bit and a little moisture. And she's like, well, you'll be wanting something. And she reaches around her neck and she takes off a necklace. And she slides an old silver ring which has many runes written into it. She pulls it off and she's like, now this here your father gave me. You lose it, there'll be hell to pay. And I don't care how many soldiers are between you and me or whatever crazy girl you think is going to win this war. I will hunt you down, boy. And she puts it in your hand.
You do know that they give plots of land and animals to every family that sends out boys, right?
Well, I think you think I'm going to need to be cleaning another farmyard? You are joking, Graf. Get on your horse and get out of here.
Daisy's already big enough to take care of the horse.
You take Ashes and you get out of here. You don't be promising me cleaning no more rooms. Off you go.
Graf's gonna get on the horse and he looks down at his mother and just smiles. Just you watch. They're gonna talk about me.
She kind of sniffs quite heavily and just gives you a nod, and she stands and watches you leave. Stands at the gate of the Peace Bleeder Farm.
Sultana and Adet often speak of being each other's better halves, of wanting to see the world through each other's eyes. But what if they saw as one, through their eyes? What would they see?
We're going to roll back in time a fair amount. We're going to roll back to shortly after Sultana and Adet have found out that Adet has the ability to revive people. She takes you on the road. Just her. She wants to take you somewhere. She wants to not have to look at the other people in your group. Just have some alone time with Sultana. Talk about what she wants. You two are traveling on the road. You're heading towards, you can already see far off in the distance, you can see there is a lake. And you can see that there's kind of the skyline of a few buildings, and she seems to be making her way towards that. She seems to know where she's going. She hasn't told you or said anything, just said she needed to walk. As you guys are walking along, she says, Sultana, those people back there, the ones that we had to kill, was that weird for you?
Killing people?
I mean the double ones.
Oh.
Because, they could have been your friends. Could have been your family at one point.
Didn't I know them? Like a couple of them?
I think you knew one of them, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I don't know. But also, that part of my life is so far behind me. I knew one guy, but
you're not going to go back to that, are you?
No, of course not. Why would I go back?
When you fight, sometimes you just get this little look. I know you don't miss the killing and the stealing and the drugs and all that. I know that's not who you are. I know that's not really you anymore. But I also know it is you. I sometimes wish I could fight like you. I always want to forgive and forget and help, but I know, I guess you live in the world as it is.
Well, maybe you live in the world as it is and my way is wrong. Who's to say?
I'm taking you somewhere. There's a place called Swan Lake, and there's It's where Benno and I were left before they took us up to the temple, I mean. There's a little orphanage there. I was wondering if, when we're done exploring, if it looks okay with you, that we could buy that and we could raise a whole host of little elves and dwarves and get them to live in the world as it really is, as we both see it. Maybe there'd be a better balance of us both.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
As you guys arrive at Swan Lake,
God damn it, V.
you're welcome. It becomes immediately obvious that this town has been burnt to the ground. The skyline that you saw were the remains of buildings, those made of stone. There's not much evidence of life here anymore. Maybe a few chickens that got away. Maybe chirping of insects. But mostly this has all been burnt to the ground. It's one of the very few times in your life that you have ever seen Adet angry. She's very frustrated. And you can see her hands clenching and she seems to be shaking, but she doesn't know what to do. And she looks at you and she says, I wanted... How could people do this?
People are terrible.
Sultana, how do we stop these people? No, that's not my job.
We can. There's no reason we couldn't. We just need to find out who did this. We can make them pay for what they've done. I mean...
You see her, wiping a tear away in the back of her hand. And she says, you won't... When I find them, we'll make sure they pay. We're gonna find them and we'll hunt them down and aren't I supposed to be the one that forgives the people for this stuff?
Yeah, usually you are. But negative emotions are okay sometimes. Mine are used to be mostly negative, but every once in a while being angry is healthy.
Okay. So I'm not a bad cleric then.
No. And Ilmaida would be angry too.
You're right. You'd want to make sure we don't let them suffer. And she wipes the tears away from her face again. She says, okay, we're going to find whoever did this. We're going to end them. And then we're going to come back and rebuild. If you want to do that with me.
Of course I do.
She smiles and she says, let's not call it Swan Lake though. Let's call it something else. What do you think we should call it?
Lebednoi.
Ivorus was saved from the scourging of his Yuan-Ti clan. Traditionally, a cold, unfeeling race, one night Ivorus breaks free from his holy mentor. Is he like every other team breaking out after curfew? Or has he more sinister motives?
We find ourselves this evening in Shilvana. The sun is beginning to set. It's a very cloudless day. The sky is turning a kind of orangey colour. We find ourselves in the streets of Shilvana. Not quite in the leaky bucket territory, but more in the kind of up-and-coming nice area. This is in the past somewhat, and we find ourselves watching over a 14-year-old Ivorus. What's Ivorus doing out and about in the middle of the streets? Why is he here?
Well, I don't know, V. Don't put this on me. and put me here. So Iris is in his fancy clothes, but he kind of looks like a mess. He's kind of like got a he's got scraggle fur happening. He kind of looks kind of irritated, and he's going to. What's the drinking age here?
Let's say 16. Sounds
Okay.
good, right?
I'm gonna try to pass for that and go and get a drink. What do we do? IDs here, V? No. I can just lie about it.
I guess like it would depend on how long your species lives as to when you're allowed to start drinking, I guess. So I guess it's done by the owner. He's like, yeah, you look too young, get out. You could definitely go and try and get a drink. You're in the swankier part of town, a place that's becoming very, very swish. You make your way to this kind of nice-ish looking bar. There's a couple of what we call like first mates and captains and stuff drinking in here. It's right by the harbour. It's right by the docks themselves. You make your way into this bar. The bar is called the Mermaid's Foot. You're getting there. It's very nice. The tables are whole, unlike some other bars in this town. And there's a nice looking female drow who's working behind the bar.
Iris pulls a gold out of his thing and slides it and holds up a finger as someone would do, that as he would have observed.
He would have observed this behavior.
Yes.
But what he hasn't realized that this is for people who are regulars. She looks down at the gold piece. She looks over at you and she says, "What do you want, sweetheart?"
Ale. He wants to say please. He wants to try to be nice, but he doesn't want his tongue out. So he like smiles awkwardly because he's
Roll
not
a
saying
persuasion
please.
check for me.
But just saying ale sounds so rude. Persuasion.
Ale.
Okay.
On the rocks.
Ale awkwardly smiles because I don't want to say the word please. Ooh, it's a 19.
It's a 19. All right, coming right up. And she takes the whole gold piece. She kind of slips it in her back pocket. She goes to pour you an ale. She puts it on the table. She has a look over at some of the other patrons and kind of, you see her nod her head a little bit, and she puts the ale on the table in front of you. She says, "Now, are you old enough to be drinking that, love?"
Ivis rolls his eyes and kind of takes it and drinks it as if to say, like, without words, like, yeah, this is familiar to me. Come on.
Roll a con save.
Con save?
This will be determined whether or not this
Oh,
is
no.
something you're able to drink. Remember the first time you drank beer? Everyone's like, "Oh, that's gross."
Do you want to be a rebel? 23. I'm such a rebel.
You're such a rebel as you drink this ale, and like without flinching, this disgusting bitter taste, you're like, that's doable. You put the bit back on the table. She say,
Iris just got done like eating people, V.
"Yeah, but beer is a very different taste to flesh."
Well, yeah, but
You stay at the bar as long as you wish. Every time you order another beer, she takes another gold, slips it in her back pocket.
yeah, I think he doesn't care that he's like overpaying
Yeah,
because he doesn't obviously want her to like ask questions.
of
So-
course not. You are, however, being watched. When you finished your ale, when you finish however many ales you wish to consume, I assume at some point you're going to leave the bar. Where are you headed?
I don't know what Iris doesn't know what there is to do. Iris is gonna go down and play by the water and just burn some time, because the whole point of him being out is he doesn't want to go back to the house. So he's just kind of going to stay out until he's, tired and figure it out from there.
Yeah. As Ivorus is coming to the decision that what he's going to do is spend some time down by the water and not be back in Scamos's house again. The sun is almost completely set now. The very last rays are out. And as you make your way down there, you see 2 large turtles step in your path. And you hear 2 tabaxi take steps behind you. And they have you basically within the 4 of them. Gives you gold, kid. Large turtle carrying a pretty big short sword. You notice they're all armed similarly.
Which one of these people looks perhaps super unwise and susceptible to mind control?
Let's say the black and white tabaxi standing behind you.
Okay. I'm going to use Do I have that yet? Am I a paladin?
What level do you get spell suggestion? Let's say you're like a level 1 paladin.
Do I have that at level 1? Okay. Ivorus is going to...
Is Ivorus going to fight, or is he going to fly?
Oh, he's going to do some kind of a fight maneuver.
Okay.
I just don't have my usual suggestion move, so I'm looking at what my racials do, and
that's fine.
Yeah, so all I have a suggestion. That's probably not going to work. I'm going to poison spray. So he bears his fangs, which are longer than a normal tabaxi and or tiger, and thinner, and kind of snake-like, and sprays poison out of them at some poor person here that has chosen to mess with me. Hopefully they get hurt by this. They need to make a DC 16 con save. I'm going to go for the not meatiest looking one, because Iris knows how poison works.
Yeah,
as you kind of puny. I'm going to get one of the
you pick one of the other puny looking, let's say the other turtle, the one that didn't approach you, the one that didn't have the short sword immediately bared on you. You're just like, yeah, that looks small and medium. Maybe this will be, let's do it. You spray them down. You see their hands covering their eyes. You see the others pull more blades, and one of the tabaxi just decides, nah, this spitting little weird cat thing isn't for me. Takes a run. Through the course of this little fight that you guys have, you take some bruises, you take some cuts. They also take a fair amount of cuts, scratches, bites, attacks with whichever weapons you have.
If this was earlier in his fight training, he would have just had a rapier with no shield.
Yeah.
Because he purposely used a shield later.
Yeah. You fight best you can. Eventually, the 4 of them break off. One of them already gone already. You maintain your purse of gold, but you are covered in a fair amount of cuts, bruises. You don't feel particularly good. You feel fairly woozy. And as you kind of stumble back against the wall of the building next to the bar, you see this kind of lynxy looking tabaxi, very big strong arms, look over at you and see you look like an absolute mess. They place down the box of fish that they were carrying from one place into the building, and they rush over to you, bend down on one knee next to you. It's fairly obvious, being they are this close to you and bearing that you are kind of panting and breathing, oh my god, I'm dying. They are very aware of what you are, but they don't seem to be flinching back, and they say, can this one help?
Who are you? What are you doing?
Back
off.
They raise their hands up and they take half. They lean back a little bit. They're still down kneeling next to you. And they say, this one is Baskin. Baskin want to help. Baskin have potions. Can help you. Come. And they put a hand out to you. He's like, Baskin is odd, but Baskin will not hurt you. Come, have fish. Have potions. Can help.
Ivor's kind of hesitantly and like kind of still, he's suspicious, basically. Will follow this person, but like a good couple, like keeping his distance.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be like held and brought back, if that makes sense. He's not going to like let himself be carried back because I don't trust this at all.
He
Plus,
sees your hesitancy and he...
Can I heal myself?
He picks... you can lay on hands, but that's it. So he picks up the box of fish that he was carrying and he backs into the kind of building that he was ferrying everything into. You can see everything is covered in cloths. You can see that there are tables stacked against one more, tables that have yet to be assembled. And you can see there are a lot of kitchen equipment in here. And he carries the box of fish and he puts it on the counter. He offers for you to sit opposite. Whether you do or not will be up to you. He pulls out a chopping board and he begins to cut away at the fish and mix them with various things. And he goes to cook one batch and he puts maybe 5-10 minutes later some cooked fish and some uncooked fish next to you. It's like, Baskin, make these. You try?
Ivris kind of nods and not being afraid of poison at all. Well, eat. He takes a preference to the raw fish.
Yeah. Maybe Baskin only use raw fish. What do you think?
Personal preference. I am not used to cook food.
I understand. Some people preferred cooked, some people prefer uncooked fish. Perhaps I will just serve both. Let Baskin start again. This one is Baskin.
Hello.
And this one is? And he points at you.
Ivorous.
Okay, Ivorous. This is my place. This is no more Mr. Rice Guy.
Ivorous kind of looks around.
Hasn't started yet. One day this will be best. Best place, best food, best fish. One day. Don't visit bar next door. Very rough.
You're gonna turn this into a restaurant.
Yes. I think this be a good place. I feel very lucky here.
It's in a good part of town. For the most part. And Iris kind of like rolls his eyes at the fact that he just got bugged.
Baskin thinks this one is funny.
Are you from here?
Baskin is from a place very far down south. But this is a nice place. It will be a nice place. Have to do with bar next door, but Baskin will do that. Baskin will buy a place next door if have to.
Sounds like you have your mind set.
Yes. Have plans. I'm young tabaxi, but have plans. I work hard. This one loves fish. Kind of half smiles. Looking at, I assume, the completely empty bowl of raw fish.
Yeah.
When our brave heroes closed the portal to Bellum, we believed that would be the last time we would ever hear about Titus and Trevor. But we were wrong. What tale does the gnome of doom and his friend Trevor still have to tell?
You find yourself able to move again. The portal in front of you has closed, forever shutting off the physical realm from yourself and from Trevor, who has jumped through with you. Not part of your plans, but thus he is here. You are surrounded on all sides by the honourable dead, still fighting to protect you. You can see demons going down left and right. You can see creatures with horrific 8 legs made of rock and fire making their way towards you because fuck spiders. What do you want to do?
I'm going to take a look round and survey my immediate area. This is pretty much what I was expecting. Fairly unpleasant.
Yes, this is exactly what you're expecting of Bellum. You were on a little high rise on a little hill. It's not massive, but like a couple of meters or so up. The honourable dead are in a huge circle around you. A couple of demons keep making it through some of the flying ones. Off in the far distance, you can see cliffs of red stone, and you can see that etched into this, you can see there are holes, some caves, some naturally formed. The others, however, have clearly been dug in there, and they look like they are fortified with more honourable dead pouring out of them, making their way towards you. Over on the other side, as you look around at the sky, you realise there's no sun. There's nothing to set, there's nothing to rise. This is eternal.
Pretty.
Deadly is what I'm going to go with.
I was going to survey the area and be like, yeah, this is... I don't want to be here any longer than we have to. So I'm going to tell, is Trevor standing or is he laying on the floor?
Trevor kind of dove through, so he's kind of dusting himself off and getting back onto his feet. Could you make a perception check for me, please?
Yes, I can. Filthy electric dice.
I know.
23.
23. Amongst the honourable dead that are now joining the ranks of the around you, you can see that there is a familiar-looking female gnome. She has long greyish hair tied up in two buns. She is wearing a very motherly cook-type apron, which is tied around her waist, and she's holding what looks like the mother of all frying pans. She's making her way very sternly towards you. Some of the honourable dead around you are kind of pushing you towards this stream of reinforcements. One of them bow down to you, this very tall, golden-looking dragonborn, and she says, "You have to go. Go with them. Get out of here. We can't protect you here. Go." And she kind of shoves you both in the small of your back towards the reinforcements coming your way. The gnome that you notice making her very stern way towards you, hitting demons left and right as she makes her way, is your mother.
Oh, interesting. Is she in the stream of reinforcements, or is she in a different direction?
Yes, she is. She is, if not leading them, running ahead of them, and anything coming her way is getting rudely battered aside.
Cool. I will bow to the golden dragon ball that pushed me.
Don't bow, just go! And she kind of gives you a shove with her foot.
I'll move towards the reinforcements, grabbing Trevor round the sleeve and dragging him along with me.
Oh, this is not good.
Don't worry, we won't be here long, but we need to go this way now. It's okay, everything's under control. I was like,
Titus!
Can
I grab his wrist? And as you're kind of as the honourable dead are kind of literally closing in around you, demons are getting close and they're taking a swipe here and there, but they're not exactly harming you. The honourable dead are packed in so tightly around you. Here in Bellum, they are a very, very physical presence. On the other side, they're a little ethereal, but here they are. You would be forgiven for thinking that they are alive. Many of them go down, you hear cursing and screaming, and the bodies dissolve away. However, you hear above all of this, you hear a woman shout, "Titus Aaron Sinkin, what are you doing here?"
I'm just visiting, Mother. I will be gone shortly, but I do have pressing business.
Titus, you are naked in Bellum. What are you doing here?
Well, I didn't have a lot of time to prepare.
Clearly, you could have put on socks at least. Titus! And she kind of cuffs you on the back of the head. And as she does this, she kind of puts her hand back on your head and pushes you down as she swipes a demon flying towards your face. "Right, come on! This way!" And she marches.
She grabbed my ear and marched me along.
Yeah. "And you, Trevor, letting him do this, and you here too. You two are in such big trouble." As she has you both by the ears, frying pan just above your head, and every time you make a little jolt, your head hits the frying pan with a resounding clang. And she's basically pulling you both towards the area where she came from within the cliffs.
Okay, cool.
"Never in all my life or dead days have I seen such idiocy."
So, I've seen a lot more. This isn't like the worst thing that's happened recently.
Yeah, he ran up to a bunch of people yelling doom. It was super weird. I will have none of this from either of you right now. Come on. Maybe a few moments later, she has pushed you guys within the cliff itself. It's kind of cool here. Now you're in an enclosed area. Now that you're within an area that's protected out of like the sky, you realize it's a little cooler in here. Like in Bellum, you realize actually in the where the rest of it was, where you guys came through, it's very hot and it was very humid. Here it's nice, cool and chill and kind of dark. And she throws you both against the wall as there are streams of the honorable dead passing by, but you guys are vaguely protected now.
Cool.
She puts both hands on her hips, like roughly where the apron is tied around her waist, and she gives you a glare, that mother disapproving glare of Titus.
Obviously, stand up and be like, well, now that we're in a slightly better position, I could use your help, mother, if you're willing to assist. Just kind of like glare at her for a moment.
I don't know what you're planning, boy. I don't know how you're planning on getting out of this, but yes, I will help you get out of Bellum. You should not be in hell. Not naked. Goodness sake. She takes her apron off and she like ties it around your waist forcefully.
Fine. I will accept this, the Bellum raiment.
She ties it around your waist so that the top half isn't around your head, so all of it's just like round your bottom half like a loincloth. Your butt
turn around to my bum hanging out.
Obvious.
It's like a hospital robe.
Yeah, your butt is still clearly hanging out.
That's fine. I'll say, no, mother, we don't have time for this. Anyway, I need your help. As you know, Savras has fallen.
Well, yes, that's, I think, what your friends were just closing over there.
Yes.
Good job, by the way. I'm very, very proud of you, but that's very, very stupid and very, very risky.
Well, they did the best they could.
What is your plan?
My plan? There is a mountain back on my plane. I need to get to this mountain and speak to a guardian there. I believe I can do something to redress the balance, but I need your help. And I turn to Trevor and I need your help too.
He smiles at you and he says, I'll help, but I've never really been up on a mountain before. Aren't they covered in ice and snow and stuff?
And worse.
Oh, worse than Bellum. Anything after this, I think it's going to be fine.
Well, I hope there won't be demons there. I can't guarantee anything.
Hope. Okay. And he looks down with a defeated look of like, oh no.
I'll just pat him on the head and it'll be fine. Don't worry.
Well, I know what you expect me to do. I can't get there.
I can take you there. I won't be able to hold you there for very long, but hopefully long enough.
She kind of like stands next to you guys on the wall and looks down at you and she's like, well, if you're going to do it, Titus, you should do it now before anyone notices. Go.
Very well. I'll basically step forward, take her hand in one of my hands, and then hold Trevor's hand in the other one.
They clasp hands.
Cool. And I will attempt to cast Banishment.
Okay. Where are you banishing you all to?
I'd like to banish us to the mountainside because I obviously don't have much time. So I'm going to try and get as close to this stone as I can.
So you would know that on Dead Sky Mountain, there is an altar made of like this kind of purplish crystal. And on it, there is a circle engraved in it with a cross. And this engraving is filled with obsidian. Yeah, you could probably, you know what this looks like. And it's surrounded by a large circle of stones, like think Stonehenge. You're basically there. You also know that there is a very angry-looking guardian nearby. You could focus in on that.
I'd like to end up on top of it.
As in directly on top of the altar?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We can make this work. Since you've never been there before, and you're trying to direct this through banishment, I'm going to have you roll on the teleport table in case you mishap. Okay. If you miss, you miss, and you're done.
However, I do know that Savras has been there before.
You are 100% correct. Savras has been here before.
And
this is where he started his journey. Okay, I will have you roll on... I'll have you roll on the very familiar table. So there's still a chance of mishap, of going off target.
Yeah.
But I won't have you do it on scene casually. I'll allow this bullshitting around. Fine.
So
as a note, Trevor and your mother both opt to fail, so you can banish them. I assume you opt to fail, so you can be banished too. You would also know, however, that when you teleport there, your mother is going to be incapacitated.
Yes.
So whatever you guys need to do to open this portal, you'll have to do to her. And hope she doesn't get too angry, and she'll only ever be there for 1 minute.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You also have to do this for a minute without interruption when you get to the other side to maintain the spell.
Yes. I have to maintain concentration. So if I end up getting into a fight with the Guardian, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
However, I'm hoping I can talk him out of it.
Good luck. Okay. I would like you to roll a 100, please. So yeah, /roll space 1d100.
39.
Damn it. If you were seen very casually, you'd be off target, but you aren't. Say 39. On a 39, you, Trevor, and your mother feel like a pull on the back of your navel. And you find yourselves standing on top of a purple altar. It's bloody cold up here. It's really, really cold. Your mother is completely incapacitated, standing stock still, both her arms out, looking a little confused. Her eyes moving from side to side is the only thing she can do. There are a stone of circles around you. There is a very fierce cold wind blowing.
Sounds good. I would just, as I'm about to perform another ritual, I would cast aside this vestige of clothing because I need my freedom to be performing this ritual effectively.
Okay, fine. Standing atop the tallest point in all of Bikron, some say, there is a naked gnome and his mother and his best friend. All right, okay, I guess that's how Titus's episode ends.
That is how Titus wants to be remembered.
Life in the Kino Initiative Task Force is always interesting, and especially today for Aron, who is getting another briefing. But what does he get in return for his years of service?
You're in the briefing room in the mine itself. We are back about 5-ish years, maybe. Probably not even that. Maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 2. I can't remember. We're a little time before the end of the world. You haven't been settled in this particular mine for very long. Maybe a year at the most. You've had a couple of teams come and go. You've been part of Kit 1, Kit 3, Kit 8. They keep going. Your teams are made, they fold, or people leave. And Adnov has called you into the briefing room. You suspect to be called to be part of yet another Kit team. So you and she are sitting there. And she's like, well, thank you very much for coming. Yes, another Kit team. I know. Another preface ramble, etc., etc. I feel like we've done this many times. Sure. Things I need to tell you. Yes, so there is a Goliath on your team. Is a little bit sword heavy. He has 2 long swords. Tell me about it. But it is the other one I actually need you to worry more about. Yes, I am saying that Goliath with 2 long swords is not the one to watch out for. How do you feel about Yuanti?
So remind me, I think Aron has basic understanding of them?
Yeah, very basic.
Okay.
They follow the adage of, if there's a Yuanti, get it. Some, for some reason, are just wandering around in society and no one really knows why they can just get away with it. But generally, on the whole, unknown world, Yuanti are not good.
Gotcha. Aron kind of gives like a half shrug and is just like, I mean, I know normally you're supposed to just kill those things on sight, but I mean, me personally, you know how I am. I honestly don't care.
Yes, if it doesn't pay you, you're not worried about it.
Unless it tries to kill me or steal from me or, well, generally do anything sort of bad.
Or eat you, of course.
That would be bad, yes.
Yes, exceptionally bad.
They probably get indigestion too.
Yes. This particular Yuan-Ti, Ivorus is his name. He's been in charge of a couple of different teams before, but they seem to mostly wind up injured or dead. I'm not 100% sure it's his fault, but he has potential for being a good leader. He just... people don't trust him because he's a Yuan-Ti, as you might expect. And things tend to go sideways. I just need you to keep a bit of an eye on him. If you see things going a bit iffy, then just, let me know. But I'm hoping he'll just take to the leadership role once he has people around him that trust him and, listen to him, for example.
I suppose I could. Shouldn't be that bad.
I hope not.
And if he makes the wrong move, I just shoot him.
She looks at your gun. Looks at your gun again and she's like, yes, that's always an option, of course. Just don't let him know that you know what he is. He'll tell you in his own time.
Fine by me. I don't tell people anything unless I have a reason to.
Yes, well, no matter how much money people pay you, please don't. I do have one other thing for you. We'll go through all the forms of signing you over to a new kids team or whatever. We'll do that tomorrow. I do have another surprise for you. Something I wish to hand over. And I believe, and she looks at the door and she sees, you can hear someone moving back there, passing the door. I believe they've just finished. Please make your leave. Let's go. Come on. She jumps off the table and you see her kind of like her gait as like she's trying to like very carefully like walk out around your gun. She's still not very comfortable with it at this point. She makes her way out into the mine itself. It's a little walk. It's a little twist and a turn, and you find yourself in front of a pair of wooden doors. There is a drow there, and they are adding the final lock to a door. And she looks at them and she's like, is it done? Yes, ma'am, it's all done. Just the one key as you requested. No one get in and out, so far as I know. Just a simple key. Here you go, ma'am. You'll be paying me. Yes, I'll be paying you. Just, this is not your moment. Go. And she turns and looks at you and she puts the key in the door. She turns and looks at you and she hands you a key. It's a simple little brass key. Nothing fancy, nothing ornate at this point. And she says, now, I've known you for some time, and I know a little about your wants and desires. Not a whole lot, but enough. I think your inventions are worthwhile. So, bear in mind that I'm going to need you to make things for me every now and then. Don't object too hard. Let's just try to keep the noise down.
No promises on that
part. That's the
part.
only key. That's the only key. I'm trusting you with it. And she indicates for you to open the door.
Aran lifts a ridged eyebrow at her and then turns to the door and kind of like leans back a little and unlocks it just out of slight paranoia.
It doesn't explode in your face. But what you do see when you open it is a pristine forge. There are very good, expensive tools up on the side. There are workbenches for miles. There's a chair and a table off to one side so you can just take a moment to write. There's plenty of parchment and drawing chalks. This is what will basically become your workshop.
Aran stands in the doorway wide-eyed.
Now, she kind of like puts an arm, she kind of like leans against you because she's too short to actually put her arm on your shoulder. Now, there's a few things. One, I'm going to need you to occasionally make things for me and the rest of the kids' teams. Secondly, that's the only key. It's a single key, so don't bloody lose it. And finally, she kind of turns and looks up at you and waits for you to look down at her. She says, don't fuck me on this and don't die. It's just fucking expensive to put in place. We have a deal?
Deal.
Awesome.
Aaron's like slowly drifting over towards the forge.
Everything in here is beautiful and pristine, and I assume basically becomes your second home.
It like within minutes, Adlov sees Aran essentially like ripping, like not ripping per se, but it's probably kind of crude. So probably kind of sort of ripping his mechanical arm off, like the prototype, ripping it off, getting measurements, and already drawing like schematics on how to make a better arm. As a nod, a head nod towards that one episode where I mentioned that there was like a prototype arm up on a shelf.
Yep. As you get stuck into measuring, taping, and all this good stuff, you look up and you realize that maybe an hour has passed. There's an exceptionally good timepiece in here also. But you notice that the door has been shut, and Adlov is now in sight as she leaves you to make this your new home.
Yay!
In the history of Bikram, never has there been a tale quite like that of Selfar Stark. Did you ever wonder what happened next? We find ourselves in Balakbud. It has been a couple of years since the great treat heist happened, and Wolf has been roaming the forest. He has now explored all of the island. He has peed on every tree, and he's snipped every butthole that would let itself be snipped. There is not a lot left on the island, but he still looks and searches. And it's on this fateful day that his next part of his story begins. It is when he is roaming through the forest, looking for his favorite tree, that he comes across a lady, a woman. Or at least it looks like a woman. She has green skin, her hair is covered in vines and leaves. But upon a little bit closer inspection, Wolf is really certain that the leaves and vines are her hair. She lies propped up on her elbows as she seems to be trying to get to the nearest tree. What do you want to do?
Bound over to her, like tail wagging.
As you start moving more quickly, she jolts a little bit, puts her hands in front of her face, and just cries out, "No, please don't!"
I jump at her.
No,
I just want to give her a hug.
No. And she squirms a little bit until you start licking her. That's when she like kind of slows off and like, wait, what? And she like opens her eyes, and you can see that she's just absolutely overjoyous at seeing that there's a little dog, or a relatively big dog.
I'm a huge dog. I'm a giant German Shepherd dude. There's no small about me.
There's a huge dog, but it's joyful. It's happy.
Yeah.
And she reaches up and she grabs onto your fur, and she's like, please, help me to the next tree. They've bound me and I can't get back to the forest. I just need to touch one of the trees outside the radius, and I'll be able to tree stride away.
Wolf is basically going to try and like indicate with the giant head for them to like get on top of them. Like the giant shepherd is giant. Like they can take this very slight, weird tree-looking thing. Like they keep bashing them with their head, like at like roughly mid-level, just try and make them lean over a little bit so they can ram them with the side of their body, just like get them to sit on them.
The green lady, like she like as you start like pantomiming at her to get on your back, she seems a bit confused, and she goes like, I can understand you. You can talk to me. I'm one with the animal and plants.
That's amazing! And Wolf starts running circles around her.
No, please, they might be coming here. Just if you will help me outside the radius and let me touch one of the trees.
Yeah, get on. Wolf is big enough. Get on me. Come on,
okay,
get on.
Stop running circles and I'll grab onto you.
Wolf like mid-run just freezes.
She crawls up towards you. You can see that every movement is strenuous, and that she's clearly finding some kind of a magical force that's pushing down upon her. As soon as she grabs onto your fur and starts heaving herself on top of you, that lady's way heavier than you would have ever expected. Please, you just need to get me to the trees over there.
Ow, you're way too heavy. You're way too ready. And like the head is bobbing from side to side. I got a plan. And I'm just going to bite the back of her neck where I'd expect to grab a puppy and just like drag them.
Yes, okay, just close to the trees, please. And as you get closer to the tree, she reaches out and she has her hand up and she's grabbing onto your fur where you're like biting down on her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as she touches the tree, you can feel her like weight completely disappear. And you can feel your own weight completely disappear. As you appear in a spot where you have never been before.
There are so many trees.
Now, Wolf, you had been on Balak Boot for a couple of years and you thought, for real good reason, that this was the world. But you have just been moved to a place you've never seen before. The green lady, she stands up tall, she cracks her back and just like lets out a little cry of happiness.
I immediately pee on the tree we came through.
Go ahead. She is just absolutely joyous. And then she reaches down. Little dog, please tell me the name of my savior.
What?
No, please tell me your name. You
what?
know, I can't speak your language. Just tell me your name.
What?
Oh boy, your name is Wolf, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's a great name.
Who gave you that name? You know what? Never mind. Let me bestow upon you the gift of the forest. And she pets you. And where she pets you, from the top of your head down to your spine, she leaves a trail of white fur. And you feel your body get lighter. And she looks at you again and says, you now have the ability to walk across the pond that keeps you trapped. You can go wherever you want. And after a little bit of happiness and explosion of happiness later, Wolf runs off.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to skip about 10 years ahead when Wolf finally finds the ocean, the biggest pond in the world.
This pond has no edge. Are you going to find the edge?
And as Wolf runs across the water, knowing that he can forever walk on the water, he starts running out and he gets this crazy idea. What if this is another pond? What if I'm on another island? And he dashes out into the ocean.
Yeah.
After running about a day and a half,
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. It's okay. I got this. It's okay. I'm really
not able to drink the water around him because it's way too salty. A boat comes by, a big boat. And on the boat, you hear somebody shout, "Dog ahoy!" And somebody yells back,
dog! Hey, I'm a dog! Hey!
What are you talking about, dog? We're still about a day's way of...
I'm a dog! Hey! I start running around the boat the best way that I can.
And after a little bit of work, you're lifted aboard a ship. And a man with one eye and one leg, a wooden stump instead of the leg missing, walks to you and stares down at you. "Arr! A dog walking across the ocean. That is a treat." Yes, little Wolfie. Yes. You shall be our greatest warrior. You shall go out and find all the ships for us.
Wolf stands even taller than they ever had before. Their head held up really nobly. And then they lose all decorum and start running around circles and peeing on the mast.
Yes. This boat is yours. This is your castle and you shall lead us to glory. And we're going to skip another 30 years.
What?
As the boat is crumbling underneath you. It has been a long, long journey with this man. But the undead have pulled themselves out of the water and they've torn the boat apart. It is sinking fast. I
want to find my old pirate friends and I want to grab the back of his neck and pull him to the shore.
An old, haggard-looking pirate. I never gave him a name.
Steve.
No, his name is not Steve. His name is Hookeye.
What?
Yep. Old Hookeye.
I call him Woofeye.
Sure. Old Hookeye is fighting off a skeleton with one hand, and he's trying to drag another man as the boat sinks below him. When you start bounding up to him, he's like, "Oh, Woof, my greatest ally. We shall fight together here, shall we not?" And
I dive at the skelly's face.
You two fight.
It's full of bones. I need to play with this thing, if nothing else.
You two fight side by side as the boat sinks below you. Eventually, the water reaches Hookeye's ankles. And as you start being pushed upwards, because you can no longer go underwater, he slowly drifts down. "Woof, woof, grab my hand!" And he reaches out a haggard, broken hand that has long since lost its use.
I just bite his arm.
Yes, now drag me to land. I know you can do it. And as he says that, you can see his head just pops below the water. No. And you can see through the water that at his ankles, 2 skeletons are holding and pulling him down with them. It is a good 5 minutes before his hand goes completely limp. His head never reached the water again.
On this day, I think Woof became a paladin of vengeance.
And Woof starts wandering the ocean and finds himself following the skeletons and the creepy monsters that pulled down his friend. He finds himself getting close to a weird town where all the houses are on weird stilts. And as the creatures drive themselves out of the ocean, Woof runs in, fighting.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Woof hears a singing melody. And you can hear it's coming from deep within the town where the creatures are all running and doing things.
I bound after where all the creatures are going, and if it happens to be the same place where this beautiful whistling melody is, because whistles, I will go there.
Yes, you follow the creatures, biting and crushing them down. Your bite seems to have an unusually hard effect on these creatures.
I've always written it in this hard. I'm just exuberant.
Oh, it's harder than ever before. You used to be able to chomp through a man's arm in one bite.
Oh, now you're smite. I'm smite biting.
And as you're finding your way through town, you can hear the melody, and it's coming from a house.
Okay, I go there.
The house is mostly abandoned, but as you approach it, you see that the door is slightly ajar.
I bowed in, barking my head off, they're undead here, they're undead, there are things, they killed my friend, they made of bones.
And in the house sits a giant dog, a big, hairy, muscular dog. Just looks imposing in every single way. And looks down at you and says, "Oh, so you're gonna be the new guide."
Wait, what?
The gods told me to wait for you.
Wait, what? What gods? You mean the ones who give me treats? The ones who gave me the treats, they're dead. Gods are dead. You tell the gods are dead.
What?
No more treats for me.
Yes, the gods are dying. You are indeed a wise creature. Clearly you are the guide I was told to wait for. I must find you your patron soon.
Wait, what? What patron?
I am Karuna.
Hi, Karuna. What things?
A steed and a celestial guide of Tyr. Follow me. We need to find your guide. The gods have chosen you.
For what? Wait, what? Why am I chosen?
Slowly starts walking out of the house.
I look at where she was. I pee in the fireplace, and I follow.
We know that Damas and Demi have a long, bloody history together, that Demi has done things to help her brother. But what would Damas do to help contain his wild sister?
Yoli is a town that has a mountain on one side and the sea on the other. To the north of it, there are the black beaches, and to the south of it, the cold wastelands. This is in the dawn. Almost as the dawn was forming, we're back in the past some way. Yoli, famous for its amazing cheeses, but also known for its Temple of Ogma. This particular Temple of Ogma has a hospital wing, and this hospital wing contains a young woman, laying unconscious in a coma, magically induced, for weeks now. Her long red hair is all over her face, covered in sweat, clammy, sick. Even in sleep, her eyes are scrunched up and she seems to be muttering. Her body is covered in old magical runes, but also a very new fresh set of magical runes. There's evidence of scars and battles and fresh wounds all over, even though she has done nothing for the last few weeks but lay here, unconscious, where her brother left her to be healed. Damas walks into this room. He sees many beds, many sick people. He also sees his sister being attended by an old, human cleric of Ogma. They have long white hair tied up into a bun. They're wearing the robes of a
the highest priest in this area. Damaz has known him for a while. Damaz walks over and stands by his sister, and the cleric looks up at him, magically pulls the blinds, and says, "I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do. This is beyond the healing arts that we have. Whatever put her into this state, I'm afraid if we were to lift this coma from her, you may lose who she is. I'm sorry, there is nothing more we can do."
It's not good enough.
I'm sorry. We have tried everything. We've even brought in clerics and paladins and divine soul sorcerers. We've brought the lot in from all the gods that we can think of nearby. But I'm sorry, there's nothing else left for her. You get the distinct feeling, however, that he might be holding something back.
It's not bloody good enough.
We've tried.
Where can I go? Who can we talk to? There's got to be someone.
He sits down next to your sister and he takes her hand in his, lays a hand on her forehead and says, "I'm afraid there may not be much time left for her. We could bring her round for you to speak with her for a while, but the magics we're using to contain her and this new thing, it's taxing many of us. We may not be able to put it back in place. I'm sorry, there's not much else that we can do for her. Nothing that we can do for her anyway." You catch that last sentence, "there's nothing we can do." Can you make a persuasion roll? This is like basically whether he trusts you with the information he may hold.
No. 'Tis a 19.
All right. He's definitely withholding information. He knows something, but it's very, very dangerous. Unfortunately, on your 19, it wasn't quite the 20 I was looking for. So there's something else that he's holding on to, but it's really dangerous. Obviously something very important to him, but it could save Demi as you knew her, or even some aspect of her. Is there anything else you'd like to try and maybe do to get this information? Anything you want to say?
I stand up out of my chair by the side of the bed.
Oh yeah, of course he'd be sitting down first. What's Damaz wearing? I think I know where you're going with this. So
I'd imagine that I'm probably wearing like my gambeson underpadding.
Uh-huh.
Like I've taken the plate off, and I'm in like
Your
my
skivvies.
normal sort of breeches and padding. It's probably open.
Yeah,
because,
of course it would be.
He's used to being too damn hot.
Well, yeah, orcs. Of course it'd be hot.
Damaz is a big sweaty man.
Like you?
Yeah, he's standing there, He looks like the sort of person who's not overly comfortable sitting in a church, like sick room anyway. So.
No, I don't think Damaz kind of strikes me as the person that is with the old book learning, but he has to scrub up to go inside sort of thing, yeah?
Yeah. He patches himself up because he doesn't like going inside and being left at the mercy of doctors or his sister.
Oh, that's terrifying. Hey!
So, he's going to stand up and, casually place myself closer to this doddering, this elderly, doddering, worshipper of dusty tomes.
He just likes the book learning. He looks up to you a little bit afraid. I mean, you're an orc, half orc, really.
Maybe place a casual hand on the head of a throwing axe, like worn at the belt, in the way that someone standing up does to stop it swinging in the way.
You don't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah, you don't want to catch or anything, especially not in a hospital. You might hurt someone.
No, of course not. You wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. And
so what do you do?
I'm going to suggest that you tell me what you know. what can be done?
I think this is a good setup for him being terrified of you. So I'm going to go with that. He looks at you and he says, there is one other option, but it's dangerous and we can't trust just anybody with this information. But it may be the only hope for her. There is a library, a lost library of Ogma, where some of the more dangerous information goes. Stuff we're not ready to learn or know yet. The library might not be there for you, and the cost for the knowledge may be, well, if you travel north towards Lin's Lament, the library might be there for you. It'll be marked by 2 obelisks and 2 dunes of sand. You'll find the library there. Well, you'll find the entry to the library there, if Ogma wills it. But the cost of the knowledge, the cost to perform the spell, it will be expensive, not just financially, but other things will cost. They could ask so much of you, just the requirements for the spell alone. It's too high.
There's no cost too high. Well, why is it always got to be bloody books with this lot?
Well, we are Ogma's followers. We store things in books and scrolls, but...
Yes. No doubt. No surprise I chose where I did then.
Of course. If Ogma wills it, the library will be there for you and for your sister. Just be polite to the librarian there. By all accounts, she's a little prickly. Stickler for the rules. We will do our absolute best to maintain this hold on your sister, to keep her still with us on this plane of existence. You must hurry. The magic doing this is taxing a great many of us. Whatever it is that is there, it's very powerful. Please, you must hurry. We cannot guarantee that we will keep her, that we will be able to keep her alive.
I would suggest that letting my ever so wise sister expire.
He kind of like nods shakily.
Would have consequences that you wouldn't want.
No, quite.
Let's just say, I'm not threatening you. I don't mean this to sound like a threat. But there are those who would not be happy.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be able to stop them.
I'm not entirely sure that the combined forces of the healers here would either. We understand the consequences, as I am sure you do. If you're going to do this, you must go. You must go quickly. But a word of warning. If you seek it for knowledge for yourself or for whatever it is you're seeking it for, you will never be able to find it again for something personal.
I'm not one for going to libraries twice.
Well, following Tormish you do, I'm not surprised. With that, Damaz, I think, just leaves the room. And he makes his way towards this lost library.
Squash may be lost in Cicero, on a path to stay clean and be more of a hero than a criminal. He trusts in his new friends to help him. But where did Squash go? Who did he trust to help him out of a tight spot back in the past?
We find ourselves in Van Lass. It's the town in which Squash has mostly set up his roots, where he has his own little den, his little hideaway. We find Squash today kind of staking out someone. There is a woman who is covered in various shiny gems and bracelets. He hasn't had a job from Damaz in a while, so he's left most of his own devices right now. He's been following her for a little while. She goes into her home and she comes out not wearing many of these gems at all, but you're not worried about her. You're worried about the items she has. So, the building before you is 2 stories. It's not a massively big house. There is 1 guard out the front. You can see a couple of windows in which you could gain entry should you wish. So, Squash, what do you want to do?
Squash has made sure that this woman at no point has had like direct interaction with him.
Yes.
And he is gonna... I'm assuming we're working with locks and stuff like that, like akin to ours, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Yeah. Squash is gonna like make a mental note of which direction she goes in. And then
she's heading towards the big temple, the one dedicated to the 3, mostly dedicated to Tyr, but yeah.
Yeah, then he like just makes a little mental note of that as he kind of hazily like moves towards the front door. And he's gonna real quick just like look at the door and try to see if he knows these kind of locks, if he knows this kind of door, if he can like ocularly decide if it's been locked or not.
Let's say, since you've been staking this out for a little bit, across the road looking like a trash heap, I guess, yeah, you would have seen her lock the door. She nodded once to the guard standing out the front. She made her way towards the temple.
She has a guard at the front door.
Yes, she does.
All right. And locks the door. God.
Yeah.
It's almost like her house is full of stuff I want. All right. Then Squash does not move towards the front door. He's gonna slink through shadows, through brushes and bushes to get around to the side of the house where the guard would not be able to see him.
Okay. I'd like you to make a stealth check, please.
All right. Stealth. That's 23.
The guard appears not to notice you as you make your way around to the back of this house. There are a couple of hedges and such like and undergrowth that you could hide in. But yeah, you can make your way around to the back of the house. At the back of the house, there is another door on ground level.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it goes into a kitchen. Above this, there is the top of the part of the top of the building isn't closed, so there's a balcony made on the ground. There's a balcony on the 2nd floor. And that has another door which leads into, you would assume, either the bedroom or a ballroom or some other such jazz. Without getting up there, you don't know.
Squash is not physically strong, and he knows that like climbing the sides of buildings, like that's not his strong suit. He can jump between roofs, he can tumble while falling down, but like getting up is the hard part. So he's gonna check at least one of the windows, just peek his eyes through. And if he sees that it's all clear, he's going to try the window, see if he can open it from the outside.
Yes. No. Could I get you to make a perception check, please?
Yes. Meta-wise, I can see that the game is forcing my reliable talent skill.
Yes.
Which means I can never roll under 10. I definitely shouldn't have that at this point. Do you want me to like hand pick in the things?
Yes, I would prefer that.
Yeah, I thought so, because otherwise we are in for a game where I can't possibly fail.
You are wrong, sir. I remember an exceptional, I'm not going to fail this, and then you got stuck in Cicero.
It's completely different, but here you go. All right, I rolled a 15 perception.
Okay. You look inside. You can see that there is no one moving around. You can see, and you're indeed looking into a kitchen. But the kitchen door is open, and you can see into the hallways. And yeah, there doesn't seem to be anyone moving around in there. You give it a good old listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, nothing but the ticking of clocks.
Squash is gonna see if he can open the window silently.
I would like you to take a sleight of hand check or a thieves' tool.
That's a 26.
Silently, like the ninja you are, you pick the lock on the window. You jimmy something in, and it pops open very, very quietly. And you can easily climb into this house. Now that you're inside the house, you can hear the ticking of a grandfather clock off in the distance. You can hear the guard outside the door kind of shifting his weight a little bit from like step to step, but you don't hear anything else in here.
Squash is gonna start mapping out the house a little bit. So that means moving around silently and looking through open doors. Do not move or touch anything that he doesn't need to.
I'm going to allow you to ride the ridiculous 23 stealth.
26.
Yes, 26.
No, sorry, that was a sleight of hand. Sorry.
How dare you. The 23. I might make you reroll now. The 23 stealth. I'll let you ride that. That's not a problem. You managed to make your way around this house pretty well. The lower floor is reception rooms, what looks like a dining room and a kitchen. The second floor are a couple of bedrooms, another reception room of sorts. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
The woman had a lot of small jewelry.
Correct.
That is Squash's aim. He needs the expensive small stuff because he cannot haul expensive big things away.
Okay.
As much as he would like to steal a grand piano, that's not in the cards.
That's the dumbest image I could think of. So I would like you to roll an investigation, please.
That's a 16.
Wandering around, you kind of look around in the different rooms. They all have various valuable things like vases and trinkets and such. But you deduce that the bedroom is probably the place where she's most likely to store her gems. You get in there and you find that there's only evidence that she lives here. No significant other to think of or worry about in your case. You can see that they're in a small little green box by her bed. You would expect that to be the jewelry box.
Squash is gonna move up to it now that he can see his goal so closely. He kind of lets his card down a little bit as he moves close towards it, and he's gonna try to lift it up and like gently like move it about to see if it's not like full of stuff.
Okay. I need to check the specifics on the spell.
Yeah, I thought so.
All right. As you touch this and you pick it up, it's only then that you realize that things have gone so terribly wrong. I need you to take a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh boy. That's a 17.
17. As you pick this up, you feel the underside of it pulse with magic, and you are exposed to a significant amount of lightning damage. I'm going to roll it to see if I can knock you out and have you thrown in jail.
Quick question.
Yes.
Did I succeed or fail?
You failed.
All right, I only take health.
Okay. When do you get that horrible talent you have, which I now think should be banned forever and ever?
It's like early deck. I think it's like 6 or 7. I'm pretty sure.
You take 10 lightning damage. That's after I've halved it.
Okay, that's barely anything.
Oh, is it? Okay, nice. So I will up the damage dice in future.
I more meant like I, of course, don't know what health I would have been at this point.
Of course.
But this didn't even like take me down far enough that I would worry that my character used to have lower health.
Okay. So you take a significant amount of electrical damage.
Does it cause us audible?
It does. You hear someone downstairs beginning to move. You hear a key rattling in the door.
I'm assuming is the door to the balcony in this house?
It's in the room next to.
Are there doors in between the rooms?
Yes.
Squash is gonna rush his way towards the door in between.
Uh-huh.
And as he's doing so, he's gonna he's just gonna move like quickly but quietly towards the door in between the rooms, and he's gonna try to get through that door.
Yep, not a problem.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna close the door in behind him, and then he's gonna rush towards the balcony.
Hey, good luck here. You hear this guy begin to rush his way upstairs. You're at the balcony.
I think Squash's in a bit of a panic mode right now.
Understandable.
He's not really thinking straight, so he's just like, as soon as the balcony door opens without being locked, his brain just kind of goes like, go, 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 go. And he just jumps the railing, and he's just gonna try to like eat the fall damage.
All right, I need you to roll 1d6, please.
Can I roll acrobatics to see if I can mitigate it?
No.
All right. That's a 4.
Okay, you take 4 falling damage. Finally, falling damage does something.
Poor Squash.
You fall and you twist your ankle a small amount, but you get off and you take running. I'm going to say you probably slip out of sight. You hear the you manage to make your way away. You make your way to whoever your fence is. This point, probably an old grumpy human woman. And she takes from you the various trinkets and she gives to you a significant amount of drugs. But she says, so do you want it all in a dragon sand or do you want a little bit in something else?
No, it's just sand. Just sand. That's fine.
Are you sure? I've got some Godstream here somewhere.
Godstream? No, that's for quitters. No, I need dragon. No, Godstream.
I don't want to give you all of this. I've got to be a little bit responsible here, Squash. I can't give it all of you in dragon sand. You can put yourself in a corner,
okay, fine. Just give me the dragon sand and what you're willing to give me, and the rest in Godstream. I can probably pawn it off to old Joe.
I'll be talking to old Joe after this. We've been talking, and as they're doing this, they're reaching in and they're grabbing the various things that you need. I'll tell you what, I'll give you this, and then I'll let old Joe know he's not to trade any of this Godstream from you in Dragon Sand. Here you go, lad. And they pass over like 2 pretty big bundles.
Whoa. Thank you for doing business as always. Keep up the supply. I don't know how long this will last. And no. Squash just kind of greedily paws at the dragon sand bag and stashes that like real careful and then he just grabs the Godstream and just shoves it somewhere.
Okay. A few days later, you're coming down off of your high. Yeah. You have pawned the the Godstream off, but old Joe, I ain't going to be giving you any of this. She'll kick him up. No fighting weight. And he gives it to you in gold instead. You're coming down. What do you wish to do?
I think Squash is like finding himself in really bad headspace. The pain is coming back real hard. And he's racking his brain for like relief. Does he have any sand left over or?
He has like the smallest amount.
He grabs the sand and his gold and he starts kind of wandering the streets. He's gonna like just in a kind of haze. He's just walking around and he's trying to rack his brain how to get more sand, how to find relief from this pain.
In your haze of wandering around, Squash, you find that you are unconsciously making your way towards the temple of Tyr, Ilmater, and Torm.
As Squash finds himself outside the temple, he just looks at the temple and just quietly goes, like, they can help. They'll help, right? And he starts wandering towards the door.
As you start making your way towards, you see a familiar figure. You see a very short human male. He's wearing the robes of Ilmater. And as you kind of very cautiously make your way there, hoping not to be seen and yet unable to control yourself, he looks down at you and he says, back again, are you, Squash? Let's get you cleaned up.
I just need a little bit of help. It hurts real bad today.
He nods, smiles, and the Temple of Ilmater takes you in.
When Raoul and Ama arrived in Fausen, they had nothing. No money, no jobs, no home. After hard work, Raoul managed to scrape together enough money to buy a simple home. But how did he surprise the love of his life with their new, permanent home?
We find ourselves in Fausen, a good few years before any of this chaos ever happens, right back in the very early days of Raoul and Ama having arrived in Fausen and trying to find a means of survival. They have a new ally in Bogrim, who's turned up fairly recently in Raoul's life and has helped him find kind of employment, sort of fourfold kind of employment, but it's doing okay. Currently, Raoul and Ama live in a side alley. They live under a fairly large piece of wood, which is being held up by odd bricks that are kind of pointing out from some of the sandstone buildings around it. It's not a good place to live. You're living in the street. But on this day, Raoul has something very important planned. He just needs to get Amy out of the way first. So, what do you want to do?
Okay. I assume I need to meet up with Bogram at some point.
Yes.
Is there a plan? Or is
I don't
it
know.
just...
Is there?
Okay. Well, Raul is going to wake Ama up and let her know that he is going to run and meet with Bogram and that he will be back shortly and that they have a job that they might need some help with, but that they have some money that they can make.
Do you need help? I can help if there is money.
There are things, yes.
Okay. And she kind of stretches and rolls her back, and like she lets like a little jet of flame, like the early morning breath, like sorts of fire going up.
I'm going to go down and get the Bogram. Stay here. I'll be up in just a couple of minutes.
Okay. I will get some food cooking. As she gets another good stretch, and you know the food is probably going to be she's going to shoot some rats with her fire.
That's gross.
Yeah, it's super gross, but it's what you're living in. So where are you meeting Bogram?
I'm going to go down to the fourfold and meet Bogram because I've probably been like storing all my money with Bogram because I'm not going to have it in the fucking alleyway with me. That's ridiculous.
A smart move.
So Raw's been saving up for a long time, all his money.
Okay. You go down to the fourfold, you go through the monastery. Emily and Colin and Jim will kind of give you a nod and let you through fairly quickly. There's no one else in the bar at this time of the morning. It's early. I mean, people do drink this early, but not today. You managed to wake your way down to Bogram's place within the fourfold. He's awake, ready. Everything's. He seems ready and happy and cheerful and ready to start the work. He's like, so she distracted? Have you got her out of the way?
I've got a little bit of extra money. I'm going to give her some to go and grab some groceries and things, supposedly for the people we're helping move in to the house. But you know.
Sneaky plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got it. All right, okay. Let me just grab it. And he kind of like rummages in the back of the room. He pulls one of the bricks out from. He kind of like pulls one of the loose stones out from the back of the cave, and he hands over a fairly large sized pouch with a fair amount of jingling coins in there, a mixture of like gold, silvers, and coppers. There you go.
Rollex excited.
Okay, so do you want me to move along? Does she know I'm coming?
Yes, we are. Well, I haven't told her what the job is, but I told her we have things to help someone do for money.
All right, okay.
So
all right.
We're going to be helping someone move into the house. We're going to grab those things we ordered and get those all out.
Right.
And
for someone else, right?
Right.
Right, okay. All right, the two of you make your way back up to where Ama is caught her at. It's over a small fire that she started. She's got a couple of rats this morning. Did a good job.
Yay. Oh, good. Good job. And Raul gratefully eats a rat.
Ama sliced the Ralph.
Excited about it, even though he knows that he has money to.
Yeah, she slides the like one of the rats off and she offers it to Bogram. He's like, "No, lass, I've had my full today. Oh, I'm good. You eat that. You call it." And he sits down. He cracks open one of his hip flasks and offers it around. So, Ralph said you guys are have a job today? What can I do to help?
We are helping one of Bogram's friends move into a house here. Just some lifting type things. Moving some furniture here and there. They need some things from the store. And Rawl pulls out a blank piece of paper and stares at it as if it's a list that he's reading from his employers.
Bogrim like leans over and he's like, "Oh yeah, you have to remember all the carrots. Yeah, see,
What's that
to
word?
Carrots, yeah.
What does that one say?
That one's turnip. Yep.
Okay. It's some of it's not specific. Kind of just to grab a mixture of things type situation. Is whatever you think, really.
Can I have a look at the list? I could take it with me.
Oh, it. Fuck you, V. It's not very. It's kind of I need most of it still.
Yeah, there's supplies that we have to go get on here too. Like here, that says wardrobe.
But basically, the basic food, the bread, the wine things, some wine, nice wine, whatever. They're not really here. They did not give any very specific instructions. We're supposed to just make it livable. So we have a small allowance for that. And Rob pulls out, say, he gives her 20 gold.
She takes the gold in her hand and her eyes go wide like, "No, this is more than we've earned in like a year. And they want us to..." She closes her hand around it and puts it to her chest like, "Okay, I will make sure they have the best of all the foods and all the good wine." And she looks a little sad that the best of all the foods and the wine is not going to be hers. She gives you a little kiss on the cheek. She's like, "You two have a good day. Where do you want me to take this when I've brought them?"
When you've got it all, meet us back at the center of town.
Okay. I have to go do a little errand of my own. I might have a job somewhere, so I want to go check on that. So I will meet you there in, say, like an hour.
Okay. Be careful.
Always careful. And she gives him another kiss, and she like waves goodbye to Bogram. He's
Big
like,
hugs.
"See you, lass."
Yes.
Big hugs. Okay, all the hugs happen. All right, she goes off and makes her way about town doing shopping for somebody else with 20 gold. And she goes to run a different errand. Bogram like claps his hands together and he's like, "Right, so let's go get the stuff, shall we?"
All right, we need to get the key. We need to pay for the place, right?
Right, yeah, that's right, yeah. My contact, he lives just opposite. He's selling it. He bought it for his kid, but the kid don't want it no more. So, all right, let's go.
Okay.
He takes you to opposite the house that we know to be Rowland Amer's in the future. And he knocks on the door, and this very kind of stout-looking human man, long grey beard, long grey hair, tied up in a ponytail. He's wearing some very loose-fitting robes. He's leaning on a walking stick. He says, "Yes, hello."
Raul wants to talk, but kind of backs away to let Bogram try to talk if Bogram wants to take the lead, because Raul's still kind of a bit
iffy with common. Yeah.
Well, he's gotten it, Yeah. He mixes some words here and there, probably, but
yeah. Bogram says, "Yeah, we want to buy the place opposite. Well, my friend here does. Just that place over there." "Yes. The two of you, a dwarf and I've seen you before. What are you?"
Hi. Me and my mate have been in town. We're new in here. We need a place to live. I have the gold for the rent." And Raw kind of gets the money together that Bogram has said is acceptable.
You hand him over the money, and he beckons you guys to come in, and it's a well-appointed little place, and he's clearly done well for himself when he was of working age. And he counts up the various gold coins, and he says, yes, all right, here's your change. And he just dumps all the coppers back in the bag and closes it. He doesn't want anything to do with them. And he hands them over to you. He's like, let me just find you a key, young man. You and your mate, eh? New home, first home. And he's sort of like wandering around looking for the key.
Yeah, we're all like smiling and wagging his tail. He's really excited. Yeah, we're having a hard time settling, you know.
Well, Faustum here is a lovely place all times of the year. A little bit cold sometimes, but otherwise lovely. Great place for starting a new family and such like. Will we see any more of you and your mates, little ones?
And he hands over this like big kind of like brass looking key, and he puts it in your hand. It's like, and closes your hand around it, and he says,
be lovely to hear the sound of children running around who aren't brats.
I don't think so. But...
Oh, such a shame. You two will have a happy life nonetheless. It's always been a very lucky house. My sons and my daughter were very happy there for a very long time.
Thank you.
Well, the house is all yours now. I will go to the mayor today and register the new owner. Congratulations.
Brawl like hugs him in excitement.
With a hug complete, you see the old man. He makes his very slow way up to the mayor's, but he seemed very happy with himself. He's a lot richer than he was yesterday. Between you and Bogrim, you run around and get the various pieces of furniture we know there. A well-crafted, well-made bed, a couple of dressers, the table in which Amy would spend most of her time working, and a few little kitchen things. Amy meets you guys in the center of town. She's holding a couple of baskets filled with various types of food, and you can see like a couple of bottles of wine and some really fancy-ass food, which you've probably never had in your life and may not exactly know what it is. Amy doesn't either, but you live with what you got here. Okay, I have everything.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, I'll catch you two later. I've got errands to run down the monastery, so...
Raw goes and gives Bogram a big hug. Thanks, Bogram. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, catch you tomorrow. You two have fun. And he gives you a good slap on the back, and he gives Amy a little hug. And then he walks off in the direction of the monastery.
Okay, Amy, we'll set it here on the counter. Raw like guides her in and directs her to the counter.
You take her to the house. She puts the things on the kitchen counter. No, you guys were in the...
we sat... okay. We met in the center of town. You're right. Yeah.
That's right. So she goes with you to the house, and she puts the food down on the counter in the two big baskets she has. And she's like, this is a very nice place.
Raw's like closing the door behind them.
Wow. This isn't our place. We can't do that right now.
Raw makes his way over and has the key like closed in his hand, and takes her hand and wraps her hand around the key and like brings her in to a hug.
She hugs back.
This is our home.
She pulls back a little bit and she looks at you and she says, what do you mean?
Finally, maybe. Look.
How is this our home?
I found the job. Money. Been working.
Well, you never told me.
But it's complicated. But look, we can finally have a normal life, sort of.
She just kisses him.
Oh, so cute.
It's so cute.
Hi everyone, it's V here. Well, that was something different. Thank you so much for listening. We wanted to do something a bit special for episode 100. So I had the really stupid thought about 3 months ago of everyone doing tiny little vinaigrettes from their past, or as you're about to find out, one from the future. Yeah, and it was fun. I'm really glad that everyone managed to make time to hang out with me for 15 minutes and record these silly little things. Huge shout out to everyone for listening, and thank you so much for getting us this far. 100. I thought maybe episode 80. I thought that would be pushing it, but episode 100, and we're still going ridiculously strong in this story. So I'm thrilled. Most of that is down to the listenership and the community that we built up on Twitter and on Discord, and y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone, all of our guests who actually decided that they'd give up time. Thanks to the guy who voices Damaz for turning up thirsty. I cursed you up many times, but I adore you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you to Grim, who also hosts our website. He turned up and did the wonderful reprising his role as Titus, and that was super good. And also the voice you're about to hear, which is going to be Drew of Taking Initiative fame, and he's reprising his role. Well, you'll find out. It's gonna be a hoot, right? It's gonna be good fun. Thank you so much to Aethel for running one of those, and thank you to Neil for putting all the random music in that I kind of said maybe we should do this, and he was like, sure, I'll edit it. Crazy person. Thank you all so much for this, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you to all of our patrons. If you want to help out and become a patron, you can find us on Patreon by searching for The Lucky Die, and we'll be there. It gives you early access to Kino, helps us fund things. Well, it helps us keep lights on around here. So, yeah, check it out, and yeah, keep listening. Enjoy. Pulled Pork Pete is currently residing in Fowson. He has a little cart, and upon this cart there are various food substances. I assume also means of cooking said food substances. Mostly pork in the form of, I assume, bacon.
There's definitely bacon. There's also a big cast iron. It's basically this big stove that has a cart built around it. It's this big cast iron stove that has a cart built around it that he can pick up and drag. So there's a big pot of some sort of Brunswick stew on top. There's a oven that cooks his pork that he pulls. There's also a big pot of barbecue sauce, obviously, and
of course,
a large holy skillet frying bacon.
Yes, we have to not forget that this is in fact a very holy, spiritual cart. This isn't just any bog standard fast food cart. No, this, one may call it a moving shrine.
That's what Pulled Pork Pete calls it.
Yes.
He calls it his shrine, and he tells everyone get out of my way unless you're gonna come pray here.
Yeah, and devotion in the form of some donations you will receive the blessings of bacon. You are at the moment moving around Fowson. Fowson, after the doppelgangers had been attacking it, was saved by some people turning up and doing heroic deeds. Whether or not Pete ended up being a part of that is entirely up to Pete. But the town itself is rebuilding. During one of these rebuilding sessions, you move your cart near where there are some workers, and they come all clambering around. It's just outside the Witcher Society, and you see this tall-looking elf. He looks very graceful, very beautiful. He's clearly a ranger of some sort, but he looks also super sad. And he comes up to your cart, and he says, I would like to make a donation.
Yeah, I got a donation box right here. And he slaps this wooden box that's nailed to the side, and it rattles a little bit with coin.
How much does one donate if one wanted something without meat? I'd try to avoid, if possible.
Without meat? Oh, Lord. Oh my. All right. You know what? That's fine. I got corn. How's corn?
That would be adequate, yes.
A silver. It's really good corn. Promise, I know what I'm doing. I'll make really good corn.
Yeah, he pulls out the kind of the bag and he pulls out a single silver coin and he passes it over to you, puts it in the box directly.
And Pete sets about making fried corn. He pulls out a different skillet because let me tell you, corn does not go in the holy skillet. And he quickly fries up what basically is elotes.
And thus the other holy skillet creating the other holy dish that you serve, corn,
corn,
is placed in the hands of a beautiful looking elf. He takes it and nods and he goes off his sad walk about town. He often goes over to the graveyard where a tree has begun to grow in spring and he tends that fairly often. You occasionally ride your car past there. And then it's almost as if all hell breaks loose by the Witcher Society. You see this young woman, late teenager, I guess, kind of flanked by two boys who are maybe 10 at the most, and they come crashing towards you, followed by a bunch of other people. You would know the girl to be Talus and one of the boys to be Rondi. The other one doesn't say anything at all and has never said anything to you, but the halfling boy is always happy and smiling, and they always stop and they always get something, but today they seem to be just crashing past you.
So they're just going by.
Yeah, they basically see you, try and avoid you because they know they'll probably have to talk to you otherwise. And they seem intent on whatever it is that they're doing.
You kids need to slow down. Tay, what are you doing?
Well, we're assembling. So there's a portal over there somewhere, and I just realized where it was, and I just saw a dream about it, and now we're going to go there and see if we can close it down.
Why, what are kids doing closing portals to devil worlds?
And then the boy speaks up and he says, some of us control and have a hand in running the army of Savras nearby. We intend to close all the portals. My age doesn't matter. I've technically thousands and thousands of years old. And I may look 17, but I'm actually only 7-ish.
This is a lot to take in. You know what? You go close the portal. I don't need to deal with that.
Are you sure you don't want to come with? Because we could probably really use another deity on our side. And if you're a cleric of...
pork. I'm a cleric of pork.
Okay. Maybe if they're worth anything, they could help us to close the portal, because anyone and everything helping will be good, because there's so many demons pouring through right now. And I'm super worried they're going to come back to Faustum and destroy it.
All right.
We need to make sure it's not...
Fine, I'll come with you. Can't have kids wandering around the demons and devils by themselves.
Well, we're not exactly on our own. I mean, there's going to be a huge army and everything, but maybe you could make some food for everyone too. I don't know how good at fighting you are.
I can sort of hold my own. Emphasis on sorta. Anyway, he grabs the handles of his cart and he's like, all right, lead the way.
You chase after the kids, despite the fact that you're lugging the holy oven, the relished relic, which is the holy skillet. None of your food spills, and you manage to keep up with them without a problem.
It's because it's holy.
Yes, of course. And this is your small burden. This is your temple. Your temple goes where you go. You manage to keep up with them. You also see, as you're chasing them down, that they meet up with another huge host of people that have well, you didn't realize they were here, actually. They're outside of Falton, but you don't tend to wander out there. There are probably hundreds and hundreds of people here. You would recognize followers of Tyr and Tom. You would see the white and the red of Ilmeta. They all seem to be watching these three kids rushing through and you chasing after them with guards. They're bemused, confused, and some of them seem to be realizing that something is majorly happening, and they join in around you. But you're still the closest to the three children running off into the distance. Oh boy. Now I need to know, is Pulled Pork Pete intending to spread his religion, or is he intending to focus more on helping the kids?
Oh, no.
Because this will massively determine what happens when the rest of the gang possibly catch up with you.
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd say he's probably more intent on spreading his religion, as Pulled Pork Pete he's not really a fighter unless he absolutely has to. So he's more of a cooker.
Okay, he's more of a straight-up chef than cook. Let's go with cook instead of chef.
I don't know. He may or may not have been trained by the divine, so he may or may not be a chef.
Okay. That is to be decided by the gods and the audience.
Yes.